Content marketing is one of the best and most effective ways to generate leads, clients, revenue, and to grow your business. But for content marketing to work, you need to do it right. That's why in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the most effective content marketing strategies that you can use in your business in order to create content that your customers and your clients actually want to consume, and most importantly of all, will actually help to grow your business. So let's get to it. Hey there, my name is Erhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to the channel, the #1 place for entrepreneurs to learn proven marketing strategies to grow their business online. Over the last 10 years as a digital marketer, I've used, tried, and battle tested pretty much every different kind of marketing strategy available. I've used pretty much every kind of advertising you can think of, from Facebook ads to Instagram ads to Google ads to YouTube ads. I've built funnels, I've ran email marketing campaigns, I've done SEO and search engine optimization, and pretty much everything else you can think of that's involved in the world of digital marketing. And while all of these strategies worked or paid off in some way, shape, or form, well, there was always a current underlying theme or consistent element across all of them that really made them successful and really separated the winners from the losers. And that consistent theme was content marketing. You see, it doesn't matter whether we're talking about running an advertising campaign or building a funnel or doing an email marketing campaign or building out a webinar. All of these are backed by content, and they're all sort of different stages or different elements of content marketing, which is why content marketing is pretty much all of the kind of marketing that you do. Because anytime that you're communicating a message or talking to a customer or putting out sales material, it's all content. This is why it is so fundamentally important to get the basics of content marketing right, to really understand why you're doing your content, what the content's about, and what stage this content is going to be deployed in your marketing. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so we'll get there in just a second. So yes, everything is content, which is why it's important to understand the rules and the basics of marketing and of content marketing. But there's something better about content marketing that really separates it from some of the more tactical elements like advertising or funnels or email. And that's that you can get started with content marketing whether you have a massive budget or whether you're just getting started. When I first got started in business, I was like a lot of new entrepreneurs in that I needed to make sales, I needed to get clients, and I really needed to generate revenue. Otherwise, my business was going to fail and I'd have to go back and get a real job or go back to the 9-to-5 or the corporate world. And I desperately did not want to do that. But in those early days of being a new entrepreneur, well, I didn't have a lot of extra money to spend on fancy websites or running advertising or hiring videographers or essentially any of the other strategies that are often promoted to us as marketers and as entrepreneurs, things that we essentially need to do in order to be successful. So without all of that disposable cash, without the cash flow coming in, I needed to get creative and find a new way to generate leads, generate sales, and generate clients for my business. So I got scrappy and started to put in the work. I started reading essentially every book that I could get my hands on. I watched every video, I listened to every podcast, and I would talk to any entrepreneur that would give me the time of day and essentially help me move my business forward. And after reading the books, after doing my due diligence, after studying, well, I started to realize there was an underlying theme, a trend that was really common among the 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs, those who had really achieved a high level of success. And that is that for the vast majority of them, they were all using some element of content marketing in their business. But it wasn't just content marketing they were doing. Rather, they were doing it in a very specific and very strategic way. And that's the way that I want to break down for you now, because it was through understanding this and then adapting it and modeling exactly what they were doing that I was really able to achieve success with my content marketing strategies in order to help it grow my business. Fast forward to today, and content marketing is one of the key pillars that I use in my business and that I advise to the vast majority of my clients the vast majority of the time, because content marketing, when done right, truly is a game changer. So with all that said, let's start diving into some more tactical stuff when it comes to using content marketing to grow your business. And that all starts with really identifying your preferred content style. You see, when it comes to content marketing, like I alluded to earlier, well, pretty much everything's content. So whether we're talking about advertising or webinars or email marketing, whatever it is, it's all content. So for content marketing to be really effective, it's going to have to be good and it's going to have to be authentic, which means you're going to need to find that content type or content modality that you best resonate with. Essentially, when it comes to creating content, when it comes to creating online content, well, there's 4 different types that you can use. There's video, there's audio, there's text, and there's graphics. Now, there's all of these different nuances and details that are involved with each one, and of course, the key here is really finding out which one you resonate best with. For example, if you hate the thought of being on camera, obviously don't do video. Or if you hate the sound of your voice, you're probably going to want to stay away from audio. But if you're really good at writing and you can write great posts, you can write great articles and great blogs, well then do that. Even if everybody else is telling you that yes, you need to be on video, or yes, you need to start a podcast, or whatever it is, if it's not right for you, it's not right for you. It's okay. I'm giving you permission. You can write that blog. You can write those articles. You can find a way to leverage and use your natural talents and abilities and really help guide and really direct your content marketing strategy in a way that's best aligned with you. Now, of course, there is a secondary factor here, which is that you're also going to need to identify your market's ideal content preference. For example, yes, you might love writing, but if everyone likes consuming video or audio or looking at graphics, well, you might need to adjust or to massage your content strategy a little bit, or at least find somebody that can help fill in the gaps so you can deliver what the market wants as well. Above all, when it comes to content marketing, consistency really is key. You simply can't produce one piece of content and expect to ride that all the way to the bank for the next weeks, months, years, or for the rest of your entire career. Content marketing is an ongoing, iterative, essential process to your business that's going to enable you to grow. But in order to be consistent, you're going to have to find something that you actually enjoy doing. So with all that said, with looking at all the different types of content, whether we're talking about video or audio or text or graphics, well, what's my personal recommendation to you if you had to choose one? Well, that one's really easy. It has to be video. And here's why. First of all, video, next to being in person, is probably the single most effective form of communication that we have available. After all, with a video, you can see the person, you can look at their body language, you can hear their voice, and it essentially gives you a more immersive experience than just reading a post or listening to a podcast. The second thing is that video gives you the most flexibility when it comes to repurposing and syndicating your content. For example, you can take a video and you can strip away the audio. Now you got a podcast. You can take that audio and you can have it transcribed into text. Now you've got a blog post. You can take that blog post and you can pull away different quotes or different snippets. And now you have social media posts. And you can do all of this from just one simple video that maybe you produce even just once a week. One video a week, an entire week's worth of content. It's a really valuable situation to use and really leverage in your business if you can get around that hurdle of being on video. And I'd argue that while video may be challenging or uncomfortable at first, like any skill in business, it can be learned, it can be practiced. All right, so on the topic of video, well, let's move into the next point and the next strategy around content marketing you need to be aware of, which is long-form content. You see, when it comes to content, well, the more that you can get someone to consume, or the longer duration they're going to consume your content, the greater your opportunities to influence and to persuade and to build authority and essentially establish rapport with your target market. This is why choosing some kind of long-form content, and I'm going to argue either video or audio through a podcast, well, these are two of the most effective forms of content that you can produce in your business because, again, they allow you to build that deeper bond, that deeper rapport. You can tell stories, you can engage, you can go off the rails a little bit and provide some value that you might not have thought of in short form content. You've got to be punchy and you've got to be really quick and you have to appreciate someone's probably scrolling by at lightning speed. See, the beauty of long form content is that people typically will engage with a video from anywhere from 5 minutes all the way up to an hour. And with audio content, anywhere from, again, 5 minutes up to an hour as well, depending on the duration. The average podcast, I think, is around 27 minutes of normal consumption, which is around the average commute. So if you can create 27-minute long-form content, whether through video or whether through audio, that's going to give you 27 minutes to plant yourself into your customers' and clients' brains, to convey your value, to offer help, to establish your expertise and authority. It's really, really powerful. Now, if you're having to make the decision between choosing video, like say a YouTube channel, or audio, like say a podcast, well, my recommendation, probably unsurprisingly, is to go with video because again, you just have so much more flexibility and creative options with video. But the barriers to entry are also significantly higher, and it's really easy to start a podcast today. You can even start it with basic software just on your phone. So don't let the technology or don't let the barriers to entry or obstacles stop you from choosing one kind of long-form content. It will help grow your business. All right, so now that we've beat up long-form content good enough, let's move on to short-form content, because the reality is that not everybody all of the time is going to have that time to consume your long-form content. This is why I love having feeder content. Short form content that can be consumed in 3 seconds to 30 seconds. Essentially a quick scroll, a quick consumption, something to give them a quick hit of dopamine and hopefully some value, and helps to further establish that know, like, and trust factor. Now, when we're talking about short form content, we're talking about things like a Facebook post or an Instagram story or something you post on LinkedIn. Essentially something that someone can consume when they're quickly scrolling through their feed. Your goal here is probably not to make a sale or do anything like that, but rather just to appear in front of them, increase your touch points so you can stay top of mind. With long form content, you probably want to be producing that once a week. Ideally 2, maybe even 3 times a week if you can. But with short form content, daily is definitely best here. So find a strategy, find a consistent schedule that you can stick to so you can show up time and time again. Again, increasing touch points and making sure you're staying relevant and in front of your ideal target market. The beauty of short form content is that we as humans are naturally conditioned to associate frequency with trust, meaning the more times we see something, the more likely we are to trust them, whether this is fair or not, but essentially it makes sense. After all, if we see something repetitively and it doesn't kill us or try to take all our stuff, it must be safe. So make a commitment to showing up daily if you can, again and again, in front of your clients, in front of your customers, using short form content. All right, let's move on to the next kind of content, which is probably the single most important content of all, but you need the other two in order for this one to work. And this type of content is conversion content. Conversion content is the content that actually drives a sale. It's the one that's responsible for generating revenue. But where a lot of businesses go wrong is they only create conversion content, which can make their brand, make their business come off as salesy and pushy and aggressive, and really not something that someone would want to do business with. This is why you need those other two types, the long form and the short form, as supporting content, as content that can build that trust, build that know, like, and trust factor, and essentially allow you to increase touch points, create value, establish authority and expertise, and all the things I've already talked about. But at the end of the day, vanity metrics like likes and shares and comments, well, they're not going to feed you and your family. You're going to need to make some sales. And this is why it's incredibly important to have conversion content in your business. So what exactly is conversion content? Well, conversion content is something like a sales page or a webinar or a sales video or anywhere that you're going to actually make a really hard offer for someone to do business with you, someone to buy your products or services, someone to engage with your business. Short form content, you're going to be creating that daily. With long form content, hopefully weekly. Well, with conversion content, one really solid piece of conversion content can last you months, maybe even years if it's done right and the offer is still relevant and still working with your market. Now, there is a bit of a catch with conversion content that a lot of people miss, in that your conversion content should still be valuable in and of itself. Meaning, someone should still be able to consume your conversion content and get some value from it, even if they don't do business with you. That's the key. That's really the trick to getting someone to enjoy and to consume your conversion content and not feel ripped off and burned. I mean, yes, you do need to make an offer, but you can also provide value in the process. So how do you do this right? How do you include the right element, the right amount of conversion content, and mix that all in? Well, that's the next step, and essentially the next point we need to talk about, which is content ascension. Content ascension, I appreciate, is a pretty fancy sounding term, but what it really means is that we just need to follow the strategy in the calendar that I've already laid out. Essentially, daily or maybe every second day pieces of short form content. Weekly, ideally 2 to 3 times a week, of long form content, and then having all of that guide someone to the conversion content, something that will actually present the offer and make a sale. When you do this right, you're able to show up time and time again in front of your ideal target market. You're able to provide value in the form of short form content that they can consume on the go. You can provide long form content through videos and through podcasts that they consume while they're on their way to work or while they're working out at the gym or going for a walk. And you can drive your bottom line. You can grow your business by topping this all off with conversion content that actually makes a sale and actually presents an offer to your market. It's incredibly important to have this mix of content because not only do you not know what type of content is going to best resonate with someone, whether it's long form or short form or conversion content, but also people at different times of their day, well, they're more likely or more inclined to consume different types of content. For example, if they're home and it's after work, well, they might be on their iPad and they might be willing to consume a 30-minute video. But if they're in line at Starbucks, well, they might only have a few quick seconds to scroll through their feed. And you want to make sure that you're willing and able to adapt your content styles for each different point and each different client and customer in their journey. Of course, the final piece of the puzzle and the real trick to making all of this work is really marketing. Essentially understanding your ideal client, understanding their pains and their problems and their frustration, and positioning your content as the solution or as the answer to their questions and to their problems. This is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on Introduction to Marketing. So make sure to check that out now. I'll see you in the next episode.
Figuring out why people buy and act the way they do, and later how to influence and persuade, essentially affect human behavior.